Hey guys, just gonna update you with a quick video. I'm coming back from the Better Discourse event that took place in Kenosha. There were different kinds of people there. Everybody was really nice to me. I got it like put in at the last minute because basically I had been busy during January, and somebody dropped off, and I just made last minute arrangements to go there. I had to go to Florida for something else, so I just diverted my trip. But there are going to be a couple of changes coming up on the couch. We're going to see a different kind of live streaming happening. We're going to have Jonny be involved in a few other things. We're also trying to do as much as we can to be on the ground, but we do need your help. So if you can support us, if not on Rokfin endorsing us for $9.99, you get access to everybody else, but you could also do Patreon, PayPal, the chat that you can send that Jonny puts up there on YouTube, because we are demonetized. We're gonna apply for remonetization, but we're also still, not basically relying on YouTube. So that's that. As far as what I wanted to touch on real quick was AOC's little shenanigans, where she was once again whitewashing, right? Like just dismissing what Joe Biden did and dismissing how it's basically the same thing. She said that Joe Biden exceeded expectations for progressives, which is an outright lie.
To be clear, I'm pretty sure Biden's infrastructure bill earmarks like hundreds of billions of dollars towards like greenifying like parts of the U.S. economy, whether you're talking like infrastructure, whether you're talking about new jobs created in green energy. So I don't think it's totally fair to say Democrats aren't addressing the jobs part of like green energy at all. Like that bill is a ton marked for like green-related industry.
I don't honestly think it is. I think it's just all talk. I haven't seen Biden in the last 48 years actually like not backtrack from everything he said. He's been lying for the last 48 years. His whole administration is the Obama administration put back in place. They are destroying our foreign policy. They're not going to get out of Afghanistan. They're going to privatize the troops. This is not a man that I trust. And also, by the way, he's not specifying where these jobs are going to go. It's really easy to say, oh, I back union leadership, I back jobs, but then what you're backing is the corrupt union leadership, and you're not doing anything for the workers. And that is also a problem that I see in unions, is like we have to look at how unions have become mini corporations, and that's why a lot of people don't want to join them. We have to address those systemic structural issues that include our infrastructure.
Okay. While that's true, to be clear,
and it's an outright lie, because we know that Joe Biden has backtracked on every single thing he promised, just like AOC. But Joe Biden has actually increased the amount of deportations. He has actually increased the amount of people in these supposed cages, right? Because they are cages, but the new regime, the new Biden administration, is trying to make it sound like it's much better than that, which is completely false. And AOC is pretty much just doing narrative management for the Joe Biden administration, as you guys can see. Here is what she said, actually.
One thing that I will say is that I do think that the Biden administration and President Biden has definitely exceeded expectations that progressives had. I'll be frank, I think a lot of us expected a much more conservative administration. And I think that his not only what has ultimately come out, but the active invitation and willingness and collaboration with progressives in his first 100 days, or almost 100 days, has been very impressive. And so while there are there are areas where there are just plain areas of disagreement, I think that the actual conduct of the administration has absolutely been in good faith, but not just in good faith, but active incorporation of progressive legislation. And also for those of us individually, I can at least say that there has been a lot of openness and willingness and flexibility in incorporating many of our goals, requests, demands, etc. And I think that it has been to the benefit of the country.
So yeah, as you guys can see, AOC was basically lying for Joe Biden, once again talking about how he's exceeded our expectations when he has in fact, like her, backtracked on every single thing. And I think a lot of people don't understand why so many of us are so pissed at AOC. It's not because we just have like this desire to hate on her because it's of clicks. Like if I wanted clicks, I would literally be a sycophant to AOC. That's what gets you clicks. I'm hurting my own popularity by going after people like AOC and by talking about things like the Great Reset. The reason people are so mad is because a lot of working class people did everything they could to elect her, and then she turned their back on them. Everything that she was preaching for turned out to be false, and that's why so many people are upset at her. That's really what it comes down to. I was a huge supporter, like I've said many times, as was Pasta. And when somebody doesn't do their job as a public servant, you have to call them out. And now when somebody gaslights you, which is even worse than not doing their job, they're pretending that they are and they're gaslighting people. That's even worse. And we have to fight that, because I lived through the Obama administration and I'm not going to let that go without protest again. I'm not doing this shit again. So as you guys can see, AOC is just basically doing PR, and the reason so many people are mad, and I don't think so many understand this, is because she was the person people put their faith in besides Bernie, and it was working class people who donated money to her that they didn't have in order for her to push the paradigm forward, and she went back on everything. It was like Pasta and I supported her, a bunch of people supported her across state lines. So when you say, oh, she's not even your congresswoman, that doesn't matter. We fucking funded her ass to get in there and to fight the establishment, not join it. And all she's done is not only join it, but she's gaslighting people and saying otherwise. So when bad faith actors come at me for basically just exposing what she's doing and exposing the supposed policies she's advocating for, all I have to say is just look at the World Economic Forum. It's right there. They talk about it ad nauseum. It's a bunch of 1% oligarchs talking about how the fourth industrial revolution basically is what it's the next phase, right? They're trying to basically merge, they say it themselves, merge human biology with big tech and with just everything else. Like for instance, like you having like a vaccine passport, it would show your health history, it would show your wallet, your bank history, and every data information about you. All of that is real. They literally talk about it in the World Economic Forum. The Green New Deal is a Trojan horse used to privatize nature and to privatize the whole idea of climate justice. And it's not saying that we don't need something like a Green New Deal. At this point, I think the name is tarnished and we should go buy a completely different name. But by the way, FDR wasn't as amazing as we all thought he was. And like, that's a whole other conversation. But the Green New Deal does not, it's a non-binding resolution. So it's symbolic. 1, 2, it doesn't address imperialism at all, because imperialism is not something that these corporate backers, including Pfizer, including Google, including Bank of America, including like so many members of Wall Street, they're not going to fucking just stop engaging in imperialism, because that's what makes them money. So it's a faux deal. It's not going to actually address the climate issues, and all it's doing, it's getting a bunch of right-wingers to discount anything remotely progressive. And so when we're talking about the Green New Deal, it also doesn't address fracking. It's not going to ban fracking. It's fake, and it's backed by corporate entities. By the way, the Sunrise Movement has been totally funded by the Sierra Club, which is a neoliberal, just NGO type of organization. So once again, when these bad faith actors try to say that I was spewing right-wing talking points, all you have to do is really look up the information. I urge you guys to go to the World Economic Forum, look at Cory Morningstar. I'm going to reach out to her again. I'm going to reach out to Winnie Webb again. I'm going to reach out to all these people that have been saying this for years now, since before all of this happened. And a lot of people didn't want to talk about it because it brands you as a conspiracy theorist or a right-winger, and we don't care, because guess what? Our audience deserves its truth. They don't deserve like half-ass eaten bullshit. And we're going to keep telling the truth, even though it gets us hated, it gets us dismissed by a lot of people in the progressive movement, and those people can go fuck off. I mean, I don't care about them at this point at all. And I think they're a detriment to what we're trying to do. So continue like supporting us. And all you have to do is question what is happening and look at the money ties, just like the way we look at politicians who are funded by dark money. If a whole issue like climate justice, if a whole organization like Sunrise Movement, etc., Green New Deal are backed by corporate interests, whose interests do you think they're gonna like put at the helm of their concern? And as far as just big agriculture, none of that is touched by the Green New Deal. Like I said, I supported the Green New Deal when it came to the Green Party. Even Bernie's was better. The Off Fossil Fuels Act, which AOC supported until she sold out. All these things. But the fact is that the whole thing has been co-opted. If they were going to address it, they would address imperialism, big agriculture, which it hurts our environment so much. Not just the animals, it hurts our environment so much. And I think if people knew about all this stuff, they would actually understand why I'm so adamant about talking about it. And I'm so glad I got to discuss that, and I got to see how people reacted. And I'm going to be talking more about this in the future, and talking more about what my experience there was when we do our live stream tomorrow for the couch. But yeah, like saying that the Great Reset is a right-wing talking point is bullshit. We've talked about it on our show before, but we're going to talk about it again. The Great Reset is basically the coming in of the fourth industrial revolution, which is going to basically make us, treat us as data, like we're all data products. And it's going to fuse big tech with humans and their biology and their data, like including financial data, with like the medical world via this whole conglomerate for the government. And it is scary, because basically what it comes down to is we're all pieces of data to be mined. Anyway, I just wanted to address that, and like all these things are happening right now at an accelerated rate, and a lot of people have been warning about this, but I think more lefty YouTubers, we do journalism here at the couch, we're not just YouTubers, but like leftist independent media need to actually go after the truth and topics that they haven't touched, because they're scared of being pushed, the pushback of being conspiracy theorists or right-wingers. And I think you need to get over that, because it's more important to tell the truth and to actually do what the media is supposed to do than care about what people are going to think about you. And so I will be talking more about this tomorrow on the live stream, and I will be, just informing people more about what's happening. Please look out for more articles coming on my Substack. I have been incredibly busy, and it's crazy. And when I have a day off, I get anxious for not doing something, and I just there's so much going on, you guys. So thank you for supporting us, and I appreciate you all so much for your support. By the way, I had no idea who Destiny was, really at all, until the day before, I think, where I saw there was a debate with Richard Wolff, and I didn't get any information about the topics at hand until I was there. But granted, I know I care about, something like a Green New Deal happening, something that will help us all. I don't think the government has it there for us. I don't think they're going to actually be the ones to lead us there. I think before we get something like the Green New Deal, we have to take back our government in whatever way that is. And talking to people in Wisconsin and in middle America, it seems to me most people don't want violence or any kind of pushback right now. But I don't see how that's gonna stay if the way things keep going. So yeah, there's a lot to discuss, there's a lot to unveil. I have a few articles coming out, so please keep posted. And as always, I thank you all for supporting us, and in any way, shape, or form that you can, please do, as we want to travel more and cover as many stories as we can on the ground. Love you guys very much. Bye.